How many times? No, it's not as necessary. Don't run for office.
Okay with it like this?
I sure did. Don't run for office.
Okay.
Yes.
Let it go in and out.
I just want to, before we get to that,
Okay, so that is. You heard what I said. All right, Michael. But I see how it is. You better get over here like this.
Five months later. We're still getting bills. What I know. The media won't replace media without being paid. They don't run bus sides and everything.
told me to sit here, so I'm gonna sit here. And if you need to, you're on speaker if you need to be chair. It is 5:48, and this is the Dania Beach CRA regular meeting. Call to order, please.
This is for the January 14, 2020 meeting. Chair Llewellyn? Here. Vice Chair Udman?
Here.
Board Member Brandemart?
Here.
Board Member Harris?
Here.
Board Member James?
Here.
Acting CRA Director Weeks?
Here.
City Attorney White? Thank you.
Okay, first up, citizens' comments. Reverend Paul Wiggins. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes.
Reverend Paul Wiggins, as I would tell them in church, can you take me down just a little bit? 215 Northwest 5th Avenue. Let me first of all say that I want to offer a thank you to all of you for what you do. You have done a tremendous job in the city, and we applaud your efforts, both the board and all of the staff. But I also want to state a concern tonight based upon what I believe I heard at the last CRA board meeting. When the subject came up regarding the district, the CRA district, that there were some conversations about probably revisiting the CRA district and allowing funds to be used outside of the designated area. And I come tonight to say that if anything like that happens, I will be opposed to it, and I will stand and fight with every fiber of my being, because the CRA was established for a specific purpose. And until the recent year or two, there had not really been anything done in the CRA proper. Now, there's been some work done in that area now, and I will be opposed to it if funds are tried to be redirected outside of the area. So I'm encouraging this board that let's stay focused. Your predecessors established the CRA district for a purpose. Let's remain true to that purpose. And again, I don't want to try to come behind anybody's back, but I will tell you that I will stand, I will fight for the CRA district and for activities to continue happening in the CRA district. And then I'm going to get ready to take my seat. But I was just sitting here reflecting on some of the conversation going around the dais tonight. You have done tremendous work. And I'll go on record to say that the commission has done tremendous work, but the world is watching us. The world is watching us. And when we argue and fuss and fight, every time we come at a meeting, the world is watching us. And I need all of you to understand tonight that we are counting on you. We are depending on you. And we would love to see every one of you work together to make this city the absolute best city in the world. So I thank you for this opportunity to come tonight. And I hope that there are not going to be many more meetings, that I will come, because I'll stop coming if all I'm going to do is hear us arguing, fussing, and fighting when the 30,000+ citizens of Dania Beach are counting on us to make it right, to get it right, to always do right. So we need to get together on the same page. Thank you for this opportunity tonight.
Thank you. Thank you, Reverend Wiggins. Is that it? Next up is administrative reports.
Good evening, CRA Board. As you know, the CRA has been partnering with the Dania Beach Clergy Alliance, OIC of South Florida, and Pastor Wiggins here has been spearheading a project for career readiness training program. And the first session of this training program starts on January 25th, 2020. There will be 3 career readiness trainings, all being held at the C.W. Thomas Park and Recreation Center. And we are pleased to announce that as of today, 14 members of the public had already applied to attend this training program in January, and 6 members of the public have applied for February. So there's a great interest in the project, and we spoke with OIC of South Florida today, and they're very enthusiastic about getting the project going, and they look forward to this benefiting the community here in Dania Beach. Also, the CRA has been working with partners Dania Point and the Casino Dania Beach to present an event called Touchdown Dania Beach. It is in honor of the 54th Super Bowl game, which is being held on Sunday, February 2nd in Miami. And we are presenting a few events here in the city of Dania Beach for the members of the community and also for all the visitors we expect to be here in Dania Beach for the big game. So just to give you a very quick rundown on it, and we do have the Touchdown Dania Beach flyer, which we have been distributing here at the city and also online. We have sports pros at the point. This is Dania Point's presentation, and it's a football and basketball clinic featuring NFL and NBA veterans, and that's on Saturday, January 18th. That's coming up fast. And then, of course, the City of Dania Beach, CRA, is hosting the Dania After Dark Tailgate Party. This promises to be a great event for everyone to come out and enjoy. We're going to have fun games for the kids, drumline performances, and hopefully we will have some NFL players on site as well to participate in the game. And the Casino at Dania Beach, they're having their comedy show, Marvin Dixon, 50 Shades of Comedy. He'll be out, and so far they've promised us that Mr. Dixon will come on board about 6:30 p.m. on Saturday at our tailgate party and say a few words on stage, so that should be fun. On the Super Bowl Sunday, they are presenting the big game on the jumbo screen. They have a lot of different offers for free play, so people can go out there, see the game, have a good time at Dania Beach Casino. The idea, of course, is that we are promoting the city, we are bringing people to the city center, and we hope that all will enjoy, and Dania Beach will make its mark for Super Bowl 54 as bringing Touchdown Dania Beach to our community. Just want to draw your attention as well to the Creative Arts Council Advisory Board Art Show, which is now currently up in the atrium. The Creative Arts Council, as you know, presents Art in the Hall at every Dania After Dark. And this month they have a really great display. They have a display of over 20 artists, including pieces from a 10-year-old artist and a 16-year-old artist at Art in the Hall. And there are over 70 art pieces currently distributed in the City Hall atrium. So members of the public are welcome to come in and see this art anytime while the City Hall is open, and of course during Art in the Hall in Dania After Dark. As you will recall, our executive director had indicated that we were going to have the HCT contracted auditor for the city of Dania Beach to finalize a report with respect to finances related to the CRA and an analysis of the possibility of tax increment financing being awarded to the CRA. We would like to schedule a workshop, and we are hoping to do that when the executive director returns to work. So I spoke with the executive director, and we're looking at possibly the week of March 9th. And we would like to ask you to let us know what would be good dates and times to have this meeting. The whole week is open, but we'd like to do this and schedule the meeting for you to receive the auditor's report for the tax increment financing for the CRA.
Are you asking us, oh, I'm sorry, Board Member James?
Well, I don't know if you want to give me to give your comments on everything or just this date. Are you looking for a date right now from
Yeah,
us?
well, I'm not clear on the procedure, if we can do that now, or do you want to do it? Okay, that's fine, yeah, if we can do it now, that'll be fine.
To start giving you dates for?
Yes, yes, yes.
What month are you looking at?
March 9th, the week of March 9th. That week is the week that the executive director will return to work, and we would like you to state what would be the best day for a workshop. I should point out that March 10th is the CRA board meeting and the city
So not that
commission
day,
meeting.
'cause that would be
Would
March
you
10th.
like to send out an email, since Chair Llewellyn is going to be unable to look at her phone? And that
Yes.
way we can all submit dates of availability for the week of March 8th through 14th.
Okay, all right.
So if everyone can
Okay.
just put that, make a note to send that to Kathleen, that would probably be helpful. Okay. Will you be going on to the Arts and Seafood Celebration update?
Yes.
Okay,
I just
thank
wanted
you.
to say one more thing, though, in the admin report, just to point out that the city of Dania Beach rebranding was promoted excellently at the Winterfest Boat Parade. And just, you have a report, but I just wanted you to know that I recently got some information from WSVN that they had 73,469 views. They were up by over 20,000 views. There is an award ceremony on January 30th. It's going to be held from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Broward Convention Center. And I have a flyer for you. If you're interested in attending, let us know, and we would make the necessary arrangements.
Thank you. I have a board member comment. Board Member James?
Yes. When we were speaking about, when Kathleen was speaking about the Day After Dark activities, I didn't have a chance to let her know. I've been working on getting some former and current NFL players, and I have confirmed that Marquise Brown, who plays for the Baltimore Ravens, they just lost, so unfortunately he'll be here. Najee Davenport, he is a former NFL player, so is Willis McGahee, but Jabal Sheard and Thurston Armbrister are current NFL players that will be here for a Day After Dark as well. So I'm sure that'll help pull more people into this event.
Okay. Arts and Seafood Celebration update. I provided details for you, and just run down very quickly because I know we're short on time. We are working with a sponsorship consultant, and we are looking forward to them coming through with a number of great sponsors. Right now, Storm Tide Windows, they brought them in at $2,500. And although you see just 2 companies mentioned here in our report, we are sourcing sponsorship from a number of companies. Most of them are returning sponsors, as well as some new sponsors through a sponsorship consultant. The wrestling show will be held at the Arts and Seafood Celebration. They are going to present 3 full pro wrestling shows each day at Arts and Seafood. That's Gangrel's Wrestling. And the only other thing I want to say about the Arts and Seafood is that we had the support of the city's finance department once again, and the event will be promoted on the city's water bill, which we're always really grateful for that. Thank you very much. It's also always very helpful. And that's it. If you have any questions about...
Any questions or discussion on the update on the Arts and Seafood Celebration? Okay. We'll move on to presentations then. We have Mad from Marketing doing their rebranding, advertising, and marketing final report.
Hello.
Hi, good evening.
Make sure this works. Thanks again for having us and letting us come in and talk to you guys. You've seen us before. We presented back in July, and so most of what we're going to cover.
Can we get, sorry, just name?
Oh, sorry,
record.
Laura Pearson from
Thank
Mad
you.
for Marketing. We're going to recap just really quickly some of what we talked about at the last one, but we're going to really focus on what we've done since July when we presented last time. So the overall objective, obviously didn't change. The whole point was to increase awareness of the new branding, get it out there through creative advertising campaigns, your web presence and social media, and also driving traffic to the city for shopping and for dining, activities, vacations, business, etc. So this is a list of the activities that we did complete as part of our contract. We did all the strategic planning and campaign development for all of the advertising campaigns. We developed the concepts, multiple concepts, chose a few, and then really built those out. We did all the media planning and placement, creative design and production of all of the ads and anything else that went along with that. We did search engine optimization throughout the entire length of our contract, and then social media support for as long as we were able to. And then, of course, the account services, which includes all of the meetings, presentations, tracking, reporting, et cetera. So this media plan is an eye chart, and I don't expect us to go through it, but I did want to include this because the one that we presented to you in July changed a little bit. There were some things that happened along the way where we changed our initiatives. And so this is the final version of what actually was purchased and placed as far as media is concerned. We had a budget of $100,000 when we started. We actually came in about $14,000 under budget due to some things that we decided were not necessarily in the best interest or the best use of the funds. So this was the final budget of what we spent. I'd like to now just give you some examples of some of the creative design that we did from August through December. We did all kinds of print ads, out of home, et cetera, the same as we were doing the first part of the year. And here are some examples. These are both examples of Gold Coast Magazine print ads, full-page ads that we did. Board member Brandemart, I know you love Gold Coast, and you're going to be disappointed that they were purchased by Palm Beach Media Group, and their Gold Coast is going away. So, but they are going to be replaced with Fort Lauderdale Illustrated. That's supposed to be another very high-end magazine, so hopefully that will take the place for you. This is an example of a Travel Host full-page ad that we did as an Art Serve co-op. So we brought in pictures from the Arts and Seafood Festival and tried to make that as cultural related as possible, and what it did was it allowed us to get this ad for you guys at half the regular cost. These are examples of print ads that were in the South Florida Business Journal, really trying to attract more businesses to come and bring their business to Dania Beach. The one on the right was in the marine industry issue, so we focused on the marina. This is an example of an ad that we put in City and Shore. This was one of our concepts. We did these come for the, stay for the kind of concepts. This one was come for the savory bites and stay for the romantic nights. These are examples of some of the digital ads that we did. We did animated and static banners for different publications, City and Shore, Sun Sentinel. The one on the top right was for the South Florida Business Journal. This was an animated banner, and you can see that these are the three different slides that would, or frames that would come up. So it would say, come for the boats, and then it would transition, sorry, can't get that word out, to stay for the boutiques, and then discover Dania Beach. And the three on the bottom were in the Gold Coast Insider, which is the email newsletter that comes out every Thursday, telling everybody what's going on in town for the weekend. And this was our double billboard, also using the come for the, stay for the concept. This was up for a few months. And you guys are familiar with the bus ads, but we love to show those. We're pretty excited about those. And then on the left here, we have 2 bus shelters that were out there. Each one was out for a month or anywhere from a month to 6 weeks, because if they don't have one that's going to go in, they'll leave it up for longer. And then on the right-hand side, these are digital banners that we used for our programmatic digital campaign, which I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about. I gave you kind of a sneak preview of what we were planning at our last meeting, and I'm going to tell you what we actually did and how well it worked. And this is the last piece. This is a print collateral piece that we designed. This has not been printed yet, and I'm not sure what the plan for it is, but it's a pocket folder that was meant to be used for the city welcome packet. And it includes a die cut and a pocket on the inside. This is what the outside looks like, and I know it's kind of hard to visualize, but I've got a picture of kind of what it looks like. This is what the inside looks like. You see the part on the right is the pocket that folds over and glues. This is an idea. This was a mock-up of sort of what it's going to look like. There were some changes to the creative, but as you see, the front of it is die cut to follow the curve of the D. And then when you open it up, there's a pocket on the right-hand side so that the city can put in brochures or flyers or whatever they need, for new residents or new businesses. And then the See It, Live It, Love It on the back. So these pocket folders could be printed and used, for a lot of different purposes. But the original thought was it would be for a welcome packet. Moving on to the search engine optimization. We did report to you guys the first time about a lot of the results. So we're kind of just going to cover real high level here what happened from July to the end. So traffic on the website was up 25% for returning users and 37% for new users. And this is November 2019 versus November 2018. So we compared, due to seasonality, we like to look at the same period the year before. The Beach Pier webcam page continued to be the search driver for your website. We definitely recommend using that, the fact that there's tons of traffic on that page to promote things that are going on wherever you can. We got so much traffic from that and continues to grow. Top search terms, again, were related to the pier and the webcam. And the big story, we talked about it before, but November impressions, which means every single time that the website shows up in a search result, when people Google something and the website shows up in the search results at all, that's considered an impression. So we had over 635,000 compared to 320,000 in May of, so in May it was 320, and then by November it was up to 635,000. So obviously the more times that you show up in search results, the more times people are going to click on your listing and get to your website. And that's where we drove a lot of traffic through organic search. And organic search is still the dominant form of traffic to the website. Some people are getting there directly, but the majority of traffic is coming in through organic search, which is people putting in terms into Google. This is just a chart to give you a visual of that. You can see that organic search is at the top, and we're comparing to the previous period. So everywhere that the blue line is longer than the orange line, there's an increase there. I won't go into great details on this. Social media, we were supporting the city until mid-September, and then our access was pulled, and that was being handled then internally. So because we didn't have the access, we weren't able to pull any data or really share insights with you, because without that access, we can't get to those numbers. But it was looking good. Everything was continuing to move up, and I'm sure it still is. So now I want to talk a little bit about the programmatic digital ad campaign. So I talked to you guys a little bit about that before. We have two specific audiences that we wanted to target with this. The first one is frequent vacation travelers. And the way we are able to target them is based on their use of travel apps, how often their device IDs are picked up at airports and hotels and other vacation destinations. And then also casual diners, which is more for the local community here, individuals that like to go out to restaurants for dinner that are within a driving distance of Dania Beach. Not necessarily in Dania Beach, but it could be anywhere from North Miami up to North Broward. The box that you see on the map is the box that we used in order to track device IDs. So what we did was we did a look back at the device IDs that had been to Dania Beach in the previous 90 days. And we saw and we showed this to you last time, we saw that there was a lot of traffic that was coming from over on the West Coast, Naples, Fort Myers, or even Orlando, Central Florida. So when we put together our campaign, we decided to target those areas where we knew there were pockets of people that were familiar with Dania Beach, but didn't live around here. So what we did was we put the campaign out there with all those digital banner ads. We targeted those people based on their locations, their device IDs, and those parameters that we talked about. The people who travel a lot or interested in travel, and the casual diners. And with that campaign, during that campaign, we were able to measure anybody that we served an ad to that ended up in that box. We were able to track their device ID into that box. So 2,234 unique visitors came into that box, into Dania Beach, that were served our ads. And they came in 3,457 times. So some of them came more than once, obviously. Some of them could live in Hollywood and they came to Dania Beach for dinner. But if you look at the map, where those dots are, that's where our visitors came from. So it looks like we definitely drove some traffic from Orlando and from the West Coast from the ads that we served up. I know that was pretty high level, so if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Commissioner Brandemarty?
Hi.
Hi.
That was very nice.
Can you turn lights on?
Can we have some lights? I'm interested, you brought up that there welcome packet.
Mm-hmm.
I have to ask you, is there a way to incorporate into this welcome packet the thing that I've been dying for, and that is a survey? I know what everybody up here thinks about our city, but I'm also interested in finding out what the people think that visit here, that stay in the local hotels, or that go in our restaurants. Is there any way that a survey can be incorporated into this, or is this something that would have to be done a different way? In other words, can it go into the hotels, or are these welcome packets only for City Hall?
Well, originally, the thought behind the folder was to have a vehicle that the city could use to put local business information in for new residents that came into the city. The survey is a fantastic idea. I'm not sure that the welcome packet is necessarily the right channel to
What is
get
the right
that.
channel? That's what I mean.
That's a good question. So a survey that is in the hotels in a written form is one way to do it. People who are sitting in their hotel room might fill out the survey. If there's a way to track the people who are in the hotel and send them something electronically, that would be even better.
Now, I think people that stay in hotels just want to put a check mark.
Yeah.
I mean, I always do. If they leave something there, that all I have to do is check off, can we be improved, or was my accommodations good, or something like that. I think we ought to have one so that we would know who needs to improve their services. Like, for instance, our Point is doing great, but I hear a lot of complaints about, we'll say, a certain restaurant, and they should improve on their service or something like that. But I don't even see the surveys in the restaurants.
Well, if you did, you would probably never see the bad ones come out of the restaurants. So it's going to have to be a way that you're distributing the survey and you're getting it back. Because if it's just in the restaurant and somebody fills out a bad one, there's a very good chance that the restaurant's going to say, oop, we want the city to see this. And typically, if it's in a hotel or in a restaurant, it's going to be done by the restaurant, because they're going to want to know how their service is.
But you do agree that since we're opening all these places, we might as well get feedback on where something's wrong.
Absolutely.
I don't know how to do it. I'm not in that business. Where's your
Yeah.
company located?
In Fort Lauderdale.
I don't even have an answer for the question I asked you. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there are different ways to do surveys and to try to gather that kind of data. It's very, very helpful, and it's really important to get it.
Sure.
So that would just be a whole nother discussion about what's the best way to approach something like that.
Okay, now you said social media is accessed, is only being done by the city.
Correct.
Where can you enhance it if it was being done by your corporation?
Well, from what I understand, there was, not from what I understand, there was a social media RFP put out, and we submitted for the RFP, but another company was given the contract. So they're the ones that should be handling all of your social media at this point. If that contract has been started, I don't know what the details of that are. We submitted and we never heard back from anything, but we eventually found it in the minutes and determined that we didn't get it.
Thank you.
No problem.
Board Member James?
Oh, my button was pressed. I think what my question was, and thank you for the great job that Matt for Marketing
Thank you.
did. I can remember a time where we were really struggling with our social media with the city, and after the rebranding and you all's contract, the engagement definitely increased with your first presentation to the city. I think you all did an amazing job. I am still seeing buses that have the branding. How long are they going to be there?
The contracts are up at this point.
Oh, they just love us.
They just, yeah, that's the beauty of outdoor advertising. If they don't have somebody else that's already purchased, it will continue to drive around until somebody else pays for it. So that's one of the reasons we recommend that, because you can get double the value of your contracts
Yeah, I
that
just
way.
saw it like 2 days ago.
Yeah,
or
it's
something like that.
fantastic.
So it's
Yeah.
definitely,
And we've had lots of compliments. We're very involved in the community, in the Fort Lauderdale community especially, and we've had a lot of people say, hey, we saw the buses, we saw the billboards, and they've all been very impressed with it. So
yeah, I think
It's been
it's
exciting.
been a great value and benefit to our city and our CRA and the entire area. Like I said, you guys did a phenomenal job. I am expecting the new company to do, to greater exceed what you all have done.
Thank
Or
you.
we'll be revisiting this again. So thank you.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
So this graph here is just the tail end of the programmatic campaign. And I put this in here just to give you an idea of how well those types of tactics with the digital, the device ID tracking and the geofencing and all of that worked, with how that campaign turned out. This is just our account services, just a recap of all the things that we did during our contract time. So that's it for us. Any other questions? No.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Number 5, consent agenda. Approval of the December 12th board meeting minutes and approval of the December 23rd, 2019 board special meeting.
Move the item.
Is there a second?
Second.
Call the-
That's for both minutes?
It's for the consent agenda.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, second.
Call the roll. Just, okay. I didn't know if they're doing it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Travel, Mayor Llewellyn. No travel requests, no proposals and bids. Number 7, no discussion, any discussion, possible action? No discussion. Any board member comments?
Yes, I wrote my.
Board Member James?
Yes, I just wanted to piggyback off of a few things that Kathleen had said. I have them in my board member comments. I am helping with the sports clinic that will be happening on Saturday, on the 18th from 10 to 2. So I'm reminding the public again, for the basketball and the football clinic is free of charge. You have to go onto Dania Point's Facebook or their website to sign up for it. And so I look forward to, I think I spoke in passing to one of our Parks and Recreation team members when they was practicing basketball or something like that, and told them to make sure that they signed their kids up. I think it's a great opportunity. I've also had the opportunity to go and speak at a few schools with some of the former NFL players. We visited South Broward on Monday, which was yesterday, and tomorrow we'll be at Bethune, and we still have Olsen to tackle. So very grateful for that opportunity as well. I also had a chance to go to the meeting, which I will be talking about again at the commission meeting, but the meeting that was held at Addix Middle School, when the discussion is here to maybe merge those schools. And I think that it's very pivotal and important for this board to show up to and be involved in, because those schools are district schools. So it's not that those schools are in the city of Hollywood versus the city of Dania, but the demographer has told us that a number of our students are attending these schools, and they're speaking about merging campuses, and that affects the funding, and that affects a lot of the history and everything else that's happening. And so I really want us to be more vigilant on and intentional on attending those functions as we attend other functions. The Kwanzaa event was a great event. It was put on by the library. And I am just, I'm going to work with staff and the city manager to make sure that we have, and Parks and Recreation, to make sure that we not only have the holiday, when we have the holiday lighting, that we are inclusive to all faiths and what everyone is supporting when they support the holidays. And last but not least, I'm sure we all were at the Spirit groundbreaking, which I'll say at both meetings as well. Very happy that Spirit is coming to the city of Dania Beach in our CRA, which was kind of left out there a couple of times, but very excited for this opportunity to partner with Spirit to bring some high-paying jobs. I know that the CRA has put some funding into that to make that happen. So glad to be a part of this team in the aspect of making those things happen. And Winterfest, and shout out to Keisha, who was the voice of the boat on Winterfest for that long period of time. We was only in the boat for an hour, right? No, we was on the boat all night long, but we had a really good time. So I'll see you all at 7.
Board Member Brenda Marty?
Yes. This is a subject that must be spoken about, even though I'm sure all of us are afraid to talk about, and it's religion. But I'm going to put a fair warning out there. For all the years that I've been in this city, we always had a prayer. And you know that, before every single meeting we've ever had. Then finally, one day came, and a man challenged us in writing through Tom Ansborough, our city attorney. And his name is Chaz Stevens. He represents atheism. And he came and he sent a letter stating that he wants equal time because of the pastors that we had come up here and do a prayer, which to me, prayer never killed anybody. It helped them through dying. And so the commission had a choice, as Tom put it. You either give Chaz Stephen equal time, or you just stop the prayer and do a moment of silence. The board, not this board, I feel is going into a direction back into religion again. And I, for one, don't want this man to come back here, because I had already stated that if he came up here, we all have our own religions, Pastor, right? We all do. And if he came up here and was going to preach his religion, I had the right as a Christian to get up and walk into that room, and that's probably what I would have done. Now I look in this CRA agenda thing, and I see where Temple Soleil of Hollywood, Florida, will host a mitzvah day at the Dania Beach Patch. On top of that, when I was at the CRA After Dark, they have all these booths, and this man was selling fudge. So I stopped, because I like the fudge. But a man standing there had a tripod up, a wooden one. And on there, it had one word, shalom. I'm walking by with another resident, so I just said hello to him, and he says, I want to ask you a question. I said, what is it? He says, what is the one thing in the world that can bring peace? I know the answer he was looking for, but I didn't bite at all. So jokingly, because I just wanted to make it a joke, not a religious thing, I said, Donald Trump. I really did. We all laughed. We all had a big laugh about it. It was just something that came out like I don't want to say what he wanted me to say. But that's my point. I see a lot of religion getting involved here, and I think that even on the Florida that wants to come into Dania for that mitzvah day, I see us going backwards on our decision to keep religion out of politics. And I see it's coming back, and I'm just warning you, if Chaz Stevens gets on the wagon, we're going to have that big problem back in here again as to decide, and Bill, I don't know if you were up here then, deciding whether or not we're going to stop the prayer. What do you think you got the moment of silence for? That's how you all got it. No other way. You don't want to hear Jesus, you don't want to hear God. They ain't no such either one. And he made it clear to Tom Ansborough, an attorney, that acting attorney,
Yes,
you please will talk to Tom Ansborough about my feelings on these things. Because if you're going to do it for one, you have to do it for all. You want a day for this, a day for that, you're going to open up a hornet's nest that you wish you never had. And that's my feelings and only my comments.
Thank you very much, Board Member Brandon Marty. Any informational items? Nope.
I just wanted to stress, I don't have an informational items on the agenda, but I went through the administrative report, and I forgot to remind everyone that we do have a website for Touchdown Dania Beach, and everyone should go to www.touchdowndaniabeach.com. And the commissioner mentioned some of the items, some of the events that she's working on with the Dania Point, and everything is on the website. So touchdowndaniabeach.com, please visit it, and you'll see everything about the event we're having. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'll see everyone at 7 o'clock for the regular commission meeting. We're adjourned.
I know, but I didn't even think